Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My name is Kevin Potter, and I work at Carolina's Medical Center as a cytotechnologist. And to tell you about what I do for a living, I'm sure a lot of you have had a test, a medical test done, and you wait and you get your results. You probably wonder what happens between the time you have your test and you get your results. Well, I can tell you about that experience from my perspective as a cytotechnologist. And a cytotechnologist looks at cells under a microscope, and that's part of the field of cytology. And cytology is the study of cells, and we look for changes in cells and cell anomalies. And the father of modern cytology is Dr. George Papanicolaou, and he's the inventor of the Pap smear. The Pap smear is named after him. He discovered that you could detect cervical cancer cells in vaginal fluid. And that's how the whole field of cytology came into being. One of the things I look at is a Pap smear, and Pap smears are collected at the doctor's office, and you go to the doctor collects the smear with a brush, he puts it in a vial, and then that's forwarded to the lab. When it gets to the lab, it's processed on our machines and stained. It's put on a glass slide and then color slipped. And then it's given to the cytotechnologist to look at and to diagnose what we see on the slide. And if it's abnormal, then we send that to the pathologist. If it's normal, we go ahead and sign that out and send the result to the doctor. And also, in addition to that, the physician could request that HPV be ordered on the test, and that will tell the patient whether they have the HPV virus, which causes cervical cancer. There are certain types of cells that we look at, and the cells progress from normal to abnormal to cancerous. And a normal cell looks like this, and that's the normal cell. Then as the cell becomes more abnormal, the cytoplasm sort of gets smaller and the nucleus gets bigger. And it's called the NC ratio, it changes. Then when it's a cancer cell, it's mostly nucleus and just a little bit of cytoplasm. And then when it's close to becoming cancer, once it becomes cancer, the cell can get larger again, but it's very distorted. It's more distorted. It's darker. Another type of cell that we look at, or another type of test that we do, is our NGs and FNAs. FNAs are fine needle aspirations, and they fall into the category of non-GYNs, because a non-GYN is anything that's not from the female genital tract. And the way those are collected is the patient will be either in ultrasound or CT, and the radiologist will use a needle to insert into the patient to wherever the mass is and collect the cells and draw out the fluid. And then we put that on a slide and take it to the pathologist, and he determines if it's cancerous or not. If it's cancerous, he'll go ahead and notify the doctor. If it's not cancerous, then a lot of times the cytotechnologist will look at that to make sure that nothing was missed. The other specimen that we look at the other NGs are non-gynecological specimen, are usually collected at the doctor's office or in the hospital. They could be from any part of your body. They could be from the bladder, could be urine from the bladder, could be a specimen from your lung or your breast, could even be a sore or anything. And then we look at those and diagnose that, and then the results are sent to the doctor's office. There's a lot of new technologies, new ways to use cytology. They're also using endoscopy to get to different areas in the body that are hard to access, so they can get samples that way. That's what's happening with non-GYN specimen. With cervical Pap smears, they're also using molecular testing to help women, know whether they're going to develop cancer through the virus. It's really hot in here. So the next time that you get your bill from the doctor and you see how much it is, realize that there are numerous people involved in you receiving your results. Thank you. I got